Hi, welcome back. So we started discussing on AWS Solution Architect training one by one with all hands-on. So as part of today's class, we are going to discuss AWS EKS, Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, which is fully managed service. So before going to here, you need to have a couple of prerequisites, which we are going to discuss as part of this training. So let's go inside. So Kubernetes on AWS before EKS. Kubernetes is taking IT almost everywhere because everywhere, any project nowadays, they are expecting to go with microservices based application. Of course, it's a Kubernetes self-managed services, right? So even any operation can be managed via Kubernetes cluster. That is a major expectation across industry now. So traditionally, the deploy Kubernetes is later I will show you a couple of manual way. So deploy, you need to create a master and you need to create all etcd and set up the certificate and auto scaling. Everything you need to set up manually, right? And finally, you need to ensure the worker nodes are part also. So before going to this, probably I can show you a couple of things. So already in our channel, I have created a detailed manual way of Kubernetes. All you need to do is you need a 3 machines. One is master, one is worker node 1, worker node 1. This is master, worker node 2. With this, you can have detailed hands-on. Already the steps are provided in each video. So I would strongly recommend before proceed AWS EKS, you go through this 15 classes and do hands-on in your own lab. Once you got more clarity, then come back AWS EKS. And also you need to have one more area where Azure, there is a training. If you come down, there is a Docker. If you have this idea, right? So automatically you will have more confidence on AWS EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, right? So if you have this, then we'll go inside. Let's go back. So manual way of implementation Kubernetes infrastructure, then you can come to AWS EKS, which is very easy to match and compare and learn, right? Kubernetes on AWS. Again, on top of hard deploy Kubernetes control plane. Control plane is managed by backend team, which is AWS, right? So all you need to do is you will have worker node access and you can manage everything. Even nowadays, most of the projects, they are moving towards Kubernetes. Why? Because if you go to any project, there will be a development environment, there will be a test environment, there will be a SIT, UAT, pre-prod, prod. So the name environment will be different, but at least 5 to 6 environment before go to production, correct? So all these environments have to be managed efficiently. Of course, in Kubernetes, it's going to be very easy, but initial planning is going to be a key factor. And Amazon EKS, right? The previously what we managed, manual way of implementation, everything, right? Everything now managed by AWS team. We are going to troubleshoot and even delete during this exercise. And I will show you how things are working in a very, very fast without any single manual intervention, right? So master node, of course, it's in a HA, and etcd configuration, of course, in HA, high availability, and API server, and even Kube DNS, scheduler, controller manager, cloud controller. Everything will be handled by Amazon EKS, right? And you just need to deploy the worker nodes and your application. That's it. So your half of the infrastructure management challenges will be removed if you go to Amazon EKS. Come down. So in Amazon setup, EKS setup process, we are going to create a cluster. When we try to create a cluster, it will create a master with high availability and etcd configuration with high availability, and IAM also will be implemented, and the trust certificate also will be implemented, and auto scaling also will be enabled, and load balancer also will be created and associated as part of this EKS cluster. So the EKS cluster with load balancer, auto scaling facility enabled. So which means there is a huge benefits we are going to get. Say for example, one worker node is down, right? One worker node is down. You have a 3 worker node as part of this lab, which we are going to do it. So this is worker node 1, this is worker node 2, this is worker node 3. What we are going to do is, as part of this hands-on, we are going to shut down or stop this worker node 3, worker node 2, worker node 1, right? We are going to stop this machine. We are going to stop this machine. Stop this machine. Automatically, since auto scaling and load balancer is there, right? With integrated with this cluster functionality. So immediately it will try to launch, and moreover, whatever the existing parts running will try to manage from here. Once it's created, and it will be associated to the existing cluster, and further the workload will be handled between as it is between 3. So everything will be complete automated, right? We will see how to create. We'll also wantedly delete some cluster resources, and we'll see how things are getting back automatically. This is the exact EKS advantage. Let's clear the screen and come down. In short, what you will get, right? You will get some EKS self-managed infrastructure, and there is a worker nodes in availability zone A and availability zone B and availability zone C, right? So from our Linux machine, right, you can manage this and control and expand and scale it, everything. So kubectl also will be configured in one of the Linux machine for our management purpose, right? So let's go next slide. See the integration also, right? AWS, it's very easy. What we are going to do is, I already created a couple of CloudFormation templates. We are going to deploy through that only, right? So through the CloudFormation templates, the cluster will be created. While before creating the cluster, the VPC will be created, and then the subnets will be created. Subnets will be created. Then the necessary routes will be created. Routes, and then the EKS cluster will be provisioned, and EKS cluster, there will be a 3 worker node will be provisioned. So when I talk about EKS cluster, the master node, whatever we have just discussed, right, everything will be provisioned. After that, the 3 worker node will be provisioned, then with auto scaling functionality with the load balancer. So everything will be done through templates during our hands-on, right? And slowly we will expand to other use cases also, right? We will just clear the screen and go further screen. So microservices, today everything started creating as a cloud native, right? Microservices application, it's a splitting everywhere. If you go to any project, most of the projects now, they have started adopting microservices as form of, you can run independently in any of the sub components. Of course, the platform as a service also, you can utilize the EKS, even on premises cluster, you can move everything workload to the Kubernetes cluster. Even the machine learning, right? Whenever I need any data modeling, right? So when I need on demand, I can launch the necessary GPU based and do all data analysis and get rid of it. So everything is possible one by one. We will discuss in coming days. So as I said, we are going to create a EKS cluster, and we are going to scale our Kubernetes cluster. We are going to set up kubectl to see is it properly managed, and we are going to deploy some of the test application, and we are going to access it via public, and also we are going to deploy some stateful application, and we are going to deploy some EFS based stateful application to see everything is fine. Come down. So you need to have some basic understanding. That's why I said you better go before going to the AWS EKS. Please start study on Kubernetes administration training, almost 15 classes. During the deep dive, still there is 18 classes I'm going to release. Kubernetes API server, what is it? Kubelet and proxy, and what is master node, what is worker node, and what is deployments, and how to scale it, and what is the default networking, right? And also further prerequisite is you need to understand VPC and subnet. This is what we are discussing so far in AWS. So along with this knowledge, right, in Kubernetes administration training plus Azure training, then so far whatever we discussed in AWS training, almost 24 classes, you will have more understanding. Without this understanding, if you start learn EKS, it is going to be a Chinese language, right? So EKS cluster setup, we are going to create a EKS cluster, right? So with the target of 3 availability zone. So the idea here is each availability zone there will be a master node, right? And the worker node also will be populated in each availability zone. Come down. And the advantage here is, right? So the master node, this part will be managed by AWS backend team, and this only will be managed by end user. That means those who are utilizing the infrastructure, right? Let's go further. Delete it. So as I just repeating, this is the exact we are going to manage. And before going to the EKS in your free tier, you have to understand multiple times during the steps and video. Once you are clear the steps, then quickly go and do the hands-on and delete it back, right? So because the EKS is chargeable, so each EKS cluster, the charge is around, it's not exact one, it's around this price US dollar, and 144 US dollar per month, and there is no free tier as of now. On top of it, you have to pay a worker node in EC2 instance and necessary volumes and load balancers, everything, right? If you do this hands-on, right, do it very quickly. So for that, you need to watch couple of times this video along with the steps which I provided. Once you got some confidence, then you start your hands-on, so that it will be very quick, it will be more easy, and to save the cost, right? Come down, create EKS cluster. Of course, we need to set up a EKS CTL and kubectl, and then we are going with North Virginia region, and with one node group we are going to create 3 worker nodes. Of course, we are going with 32 small, and SSH access also we will enable it. For that, we need to create one existing key pair, and for this EKS, as I mentioned, the VPC will be created, and subnets will be created, and EKS cluster will be created, and then the necessary nodes also will be provisioned. So we will deploy the stateless app. There are a lot of examples, but we will go with the same Kubernetes provided example. Come down. So stateless app, we will deploy the backend DB, we will deploy the front end UI, and we will scale up, and we will do some random testing, like deleting parts. We'll see the parts are bringing up. We will delete the worker node. We'll see the worker node is coming up. We will increase the number of parts. We'll see the number of parts are getting increased. So all those things we will do a random testing, right? And the stateless app deployment, right? The deploying the backend, right? We will do a two type of one. One is the master and slave. So this way of architecture, say for example, you have running one business, say Citibank.com, say UK, right? So there is another region. So there are multiple region you are operating your business, right? So all requests, instead of coming directly to the master one, so whatever write request come to my master, or some other cloned replicas, but whatever read, right, directly go to this way of UK slave, right? So this way I can save a lot of performance, right? So that is also one of the one we are going to deploy, and come down. So write in master part, read in slave part, and the front end UI using the front end UI, right? PHP app, and this also attached to the load balancer with auto scaling enabled, right? With auto scaling enabled. So if you look at this diagram, right? If you go to here, so the users are request is coming here, and it is coming to the front end. If I reach here, automatically it will come here. If it is going to be a read, again it will go and go here. If it is going to be the write, automatically it will go here. So like this, if you plan, this lab is going to give you a good idea. So go and clear it out, come down. So Redis master part, we are going to delete and see how things are working for a recovery purpose, right? We are going to delete some slave parts and see how recovery purpose is getting established, right? So we are going to test the networking part also during this lab. Once we implemented, this is how you will understand the lab which we implemented is working correctly or not, right? So stay tuned. We will come up with more hands-on sessions. Thanks for everyone. Support this cancer initiative. Please invite your circle. All we are going to do is we are going to learn in a very small cost, and from this cost we are going to support many cancer children hospital expenses. Thanks for everyone.